Today we've got a special door frame to sit. This is a double swing. It is 7'8" total, outside to outside. And this corridor is only 8 feet, which leaves us a total of 4 inches, or basically 2 inches per side, gap between the existing wall and the frame. So obviously we cannot fit 2 studs in there like normal because that's only 2.5 inches. So we're already too small by a whole half an inch. And obviously if we put a stud in here now, it's not gonna make it. Ignore the fire caulk here. Finisher never got that done. I need to close this today, and I have no idea where his stuff is, so this will suffice. This is gonna get covered by the stud anyways. But I went ahead and pre-drilled. I marked out the framing, which is right there. Then this is the the edge of the door, and so this is where each of the holes are, and usually you would only need to drill 2, but since this is going to be such a tight fit, I don't know if I'll be able to reach these, even though those are the ones I'd prefer, so I also drilled those 2 and did the same on this side. There we go, there is 4 pre-drilled. Start very lightly, make sure your hole is dead on. I like to start get all my holes started first, just slightly into the concrete, then drill them all the way through. So we got those. Don't trust these spreaders that come on the door. They are not meant to hold the door exactly. They are shipping spreaders only. They are meant to keep it from getting folded while shipping and transporting, and also transporting around the job site. They are not to hold it to the dimension you need. They are not to hold it square. Do not trust those. Always check them first. If they're good, then you can leave it in place until you set the door and then use a cold chisel to chisel those out. Otherwise, you're going to want to take those out beforehand. And what you can do, you can use these as a spreader, but what you would need to do is chop it out from one side, or you could cut it either with a grinder, preferably, down the middle. Snips is harder, but you could do that. And what you can then do with the 2 sides independent of each other is you can shim it, either shim it down here or shim it here. If one side's not square and the other is, cut the side that's not square, and then you can put a little shim in between the spreader and the jamb to spread it to the thickness, or the width that you need. And then we're going to stand this up. We're going to check it with the laser, make sure it is level. If it's not, we will set the side that is highest first, and then we will shim the other side either with washers, or what works really well because it doesn't really compress is this vinyl wall base. You know, you can get plenty of this from remodels. This piece came from right there. This stuff, easy to cut with snips or a knife. Trim off the little wing there. But these are great shims because they don't really compress. Even over time, they tend to hold. So those are great for shims. You can get a whole roll of that stuff off a demo job for cheap. Try to get stuff that doesn't have too much glue and paper on the backside though. Like stuff that comes off pretty clean. That came off fairly clean. I mean, there's not really any real chunks and stuff on there, so this will hold pretty damn well if I need it. I prefer that over washers. That also keeps it from moving around. And what you can do is usually set your door frame down on top of that and then drill it, and the hammer drill bit will go right through that super easy. Where washers, you got to try to line them up after the fact and whatnot. So I love using that for shims, and luckily we got a nice piece there. So we'll go ahead and get this, or what we're going to do next, in order to do something that is this tight, and this is only going up just above ceiling, like there's that box there, and they said that's all the higher it has to go. I really doubt that, but that's what we're going to do. So since if I put a stud on the wall all the way down, there's just no way I'm going to be able to really reach in there. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get, I got some track right there. I got some regular 3 5/8 track. and we're gonna have to cut it from up there down to about here, and we'll screw it into the clips that are on the side like normal. They're right there, and we'll screw a piece of that in on both sides, and then what we'll have to do is screw a stud on the wall from up there down. And again, I'm going to stay up off the floor a little bit because I need to have room to get my screw gun in there with a 90 bit in order to get the tap cons to go through the feet on the door frame. It's going to be really tight. There's probably going to be some swearing involved. And then today I get the special luxury of playing electrician, since this has been up here for 2 weeks waiting for the electricians to put their flex whips in here for the motor. This is a powered door. It's going to have a motor on this side that opens it. And they kept asking me, hey, is that door frame, when are you going to put that door frame in? When I got time, but it's up there. Go ahead and get your roughing done. And they have not done it, so I'm going to have to do it for them and back charge them. I've been on enough jobs, I know exactly how this stuff goes together, and I robbed them of some of their stuff over in one of the other areas. I'm going to put that in for them and send them a back charge for not having it done after all this time. And today's the day we got to put it in, and they're not here because it's Saturday, so yay me.